Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew here with your update today. So we are looking into E-Town right now, and things are looking snowy. Hey, the plows are out, and that certainly makes things look a lot better than they did earlier this morning. Hopefully, everyone is warm and safe to start the day. Brian Good is off today, so I am taking over blog duties. More ha ha ha. But yeah, it is beautiful. It's not greatest to drive in some situations, but just showing some of the comments out here. Leanne, snow is so beautiful. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. But driving in it this morning, really early in the morning at like 1 something a.m., was not the most fun. But the roads are looking a lot better in more spots. Starting to see more of these crews out and about really helping. And Kathy has an important question. More snow on the way? I hope not. Well, yeah, we are going to see some more snow for some, but not everyone as we move ahead. So a lot to watch for the next 48 hours. And then again, another alert day showing up for later on this week. So yes, today is an alert day, and we're going to be keeping an eye on the accumulating snow in the forecast for some, but not all of us, and also talking about the very cold air across the area as well for all of us. So let's talk about what we've seen so far. Fun note, Paul posting that they got nothing here in Madison, Indiana. Well, guess what? Yeah, you're not going to see much more. Really, overall, Indiana, this is not your batch of snow this time around. Stephanie saying that, hey, she's already seeing more of that snow in Bardstown. And yes, the snow is coming down right now. So let's talk about what we're seeing on the radar and how things are going to go as we move forward. So don't forget that we have the winter weather advisory and the winter storm warning in place until 7 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So this goes all the way through tomorrow morning. For those of you in Grayson County, Hardin County, LaRue County, Nelson County, Washington, Marion, Greene, and Taylor counties, you're all underneath that winter weather advisory. Adair County, you are extra special today because you are underneath the winter storm warning, once again going until 7 a.m. tomorrow. And the radar doesn't show a lot happening, but it's not picking up on a lot of that moisture and a lot of that snow. So you see that light little band going through right along the parkways, basically from Litchfield up towards Bardstown. But here's the thing. We are seeing much more snow than that. So just to go through and answer some of the questions that I've been seeing, Cody, good morning, Cody. Always love your tweets and everything from you. I want more snow. Some people will agree with you on that, Cody. Not everybody, though. E-Town, yes. Nicole wants to know, is E-Town getting more snow today? You're already starting to see some of that light snow moving into your area right now, Nicole. Sally saying, we only got a dusting here in Palmyra, Indiana. Yeah, you're only going to get slightly more snow as we head throughout the day today. So I'm going to talk about those totals as well. And for those of you who are snow lovers in Indiana, you may not be the happiest with me, but we're going to blame it all on Brian Good, okay? So keep that in mind. Kevin Blankenship wants to know, how are the roads to Lexington from the city of Elizabethtown? Overall, from what I've seen so far, a lot of the crews have gotten the major interstates, so 64, the parkways mainly clear. If anybody else who is watching can get a little bit more info for Kevin, and I'll share that, because I want everybody to get out and about just fine. I traveled on 64 this morning through downtown, and even at 2 o'clock in the morning, the roads are looking pretty good, and the crews have still been out, so that's been helping things out. But keep in mind that as vehicles drive over some of those surface streets, as they sit, especially at red lights, things can start to melt from the heat of the vehicle. And with temperatures this cold, things can refreeze. So we can still see some additional slick spots throughout the day. So crews will have to go back over and over again to make sure things are A-okay. Jennifer says that New Albany got enough to make the road slick, but in Toulouse and LaGrange, hardly anything on my commute at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, some parts of the area didn't get very much at all. And we could see some more of that snow showing up across the area. So let's talk about the radar, because I mentioned some of that light snow showing up from Litchfield all the way up into Nelson County. The radar not showing that very much is happening. But let me make the radar a little bit more sensitive. This is actually the version of the radar that we use to check for debris when there's tornadoes. But what it's very good at is picking up some of that extra moisture, some of those extra snowflakes in the air. So we use this a lot, and you'll see me, especially in the early morning hours, using this version of the radar a lot to get a better view of what's happening. And we're seeing some of that light snow showing up into portions of Adair County, but it's showing up even better for those of you from Grayson County all the way to the north of Springfield, coming down a little bit more towards Bardstown, E-Town. Some of that light snow is falling there. So going to be keeping an eye on this snow, trying to fall a little bit more as we continue throughout the day. So that's that first little extra batch that we're seeing right now. But check out everything that is going on off towards our west and mainly our southwest. So you see all of this. I'm going to pull a Brian Good and try to draw here. So be kind with me. So all of that, hopefully you can see that circle there, the very, very badly drawn circle. What we have going on is some more of that snow that's off towards Memphis. That is going to move back our way and bring some additional snowfall as we get into this afternoon. So this is how things are going. It is incredibly cold outside. This is just one of those situations. If you do not have to be outside, don't be, especially if you don't have to spend extended amount of time outside. I know some of you have to because it's part of your jobs, but if you can limit that, that's the best way to go. Your temperatures range from 0 in Seymour. Yep, that's it. To 12 in Columbia, seeing 7 in Louisville, 7 into E-Town and Shelbyville as well. And then we look at the wind chills. The wind's not very strong this morning, but it's doing enough. It is doing enough. Feeling like 13 below in Seymour, feeling like 6 below 0 in Louisville, feeling 5 below in Hardinsburg. When I say that I was so bundled up, you could not even see my face. That is what I want from y'all today. I just want you to be as safe as possible. My husband, though, went outside in shorts yesterday. So I guess to each their own, but make sure you're staying as warm as possible. And here's the other part of the situation. A lot of the crews, yes, are out, and they are working to clear a lot of the roads. So things are looking good in many spots, especially on our main roadways. So the Parkway, 65, the Snyder, the Watterson, not looking bad at all. But notice of those pavement temperatures below freezing, well below freezing for everyone. So as we see additional snowfall, even if it's light, it is going to stick with temperatures this cold. And that is why we continue to have that potential for hazardous driving conditions and hazardous travel across the area. So that is something that we'll be watching closely. So the future cast, a lot of the models haven't been doing the best at picking up a lot of what's going on, but hey, we're going to do our best with it. So we're going to see this little batch of snow that's currently moving through, moving out as we get closer to lunchtime. And we can see a few more rounds of that light snow through about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But here's the thing. We are going to watch for additional snow showers. All of that I showed you off towards Memphis is going to be pushing into our area as we approach 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And let me try to go back here because I moved a little too quickly. But as we continue across the area, we're going to watch for some more of that snow trying to come down. If I can get these graphics to work with me. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so we see that little batch of snow moving out as we get towards lunch and into the early afternoon. And then there's where we start to see some of that snow moving in as we approach 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And we're going to keep that going through about 6, 7 o'clock. For those of you further to the south of the parkways, especially, that kind of whips on by. And by the time we reach around 10 o'clock tonight, that is when things are going to be a lot calmer and quieter across the area. So we are going to be watching things very closely for that really about 4 p.m. to about 7 p.m. time frame in terms of additional accumulations, mainly south of the parkways. Then we look to have another little wave of snow trying to push through very light early tomorrow morning. This model's not even trying to pick up on it anymore. But as we really get between the 5 and 9 a.m. time frame, we can see a little bit of light snow drifting through. And that will be mainly for those of you in Indiana. You get in on a little bit of that additional snow. But it's really going to be for those of you further to the south of the parkways. You're going to have the most accumulations as we continue throughout the day. So this, I know, is what everybody wants to see. This is the map that everybody wants to get the information on. And hey, we could see a little bit of some light snow, less than an inch for those of you along and north of 64. So we're talking Louisville northward into Indiana. Not expecting much for the rest of the day. This is on top of, remember, what we've already seen so far with this system and these systems that have moved through. So we're going to add on less than an inch for those of you basically Louisville northward. Then we get to the parkways. We are talking from Litchfield to E-Town to Bardstown, even over towards Lexington. This is where we can start to add on additional 1, 2, and as we head further to the south, 3, potentially 4 inches of snow on top of what you've already seen. So Gladys, you're saying Greensburg, you've already gotten 2 inches of snow. Well, you're going to add on top of that as you head throughout the day. We're going to continue to watch mainly our southernmost counties. For those of you in Greene, Taylor, Adair counties, you have the best chance to see that closer to 2 to 3 inch range as we get into the afternoon. So it's that for those of you who do work today, or maybe you're thinking about maybe I'll go out for dinner, go to a local restaurant, anything like that. It's right around that dinner, supper time, on the way home time that we could start to see a little bit more of that snow coming down. So make sure you know your counties, check where you are on this snow accumulation map, because we have already seen quite a bit of snow fall across parts of our area. And this is why we have the winter weather advisory, the winter storm warning in place. For those of you underneath the winter weather advisory, so we're talking from Litchfield to E-Town, to Bardstown, to Lebanon, to Campbellsville, you've already seen closer to around 1 to 2 inches of snowfall so far, and some localized 3-inch totals, but it's really 1 to 2 you've seen fall so far. And I've seen some reports of 2 to 3 to even 4 inches of snow as you head further to the south. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully that answered your question, Jennifer. Yeah, you're in that 1 to 2 range in Hardin County where we've seen that. So that is what we're going to be watching very, very closely in terms of adding on to the issues that are already going on in some spots. So we'll have to watch that for mainly, remember, once we get past around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, this is where we can run into some more of those issues. So once again, the further south you are, the better your chance to see accumulation. If you're underneath that winter storm warning, basically Adair County and South, so if in that pink, you have a better chance to see close to that 2 to 4. If you're underneath the winter weather advisory, you're closer to a 1 to 3. So that is what we are going to be looking at through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. And then for those of you in Indiana, you can see an additional dusting. So keep that in mind. Then we head into tomorrow morning. I know a lot of people are watching what's going on in terms of school tomorrow. And when a lot of kids are heading to school in the morning, it's not really a situation where we're going to be dealing with snow coming down. It's the cold air that's going to come into play. And that's where I get a little worried for those kiddos at the bus stops. Personally, I don't like the idea of them being out in temperatures this cold. I wouldn't even let our reporter, Josh Ninke, even stand in this kind of cold. And he's a grown adult. So I really wouldn't want this for kids. So we'll have to see how the schools really get things done and what decisions they make into tomorrow morning. Keep in mind as well, a lot of their more rural school districts, they're going to have to come into play with some of those back roads still a little bit slick as we head into tomorrow morning because of the additional snow that we'll see through the evening hours. If they can get things clear enough, that could help things out getting those kids back to school tomorrow. But just make sure you are paying attention and getting ready for those kids maybe to stay home. Because, hey, once we head into tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking about single-digit temperatures again with wind chills below 0. Yeah, here we go again. It's definitely winter. So that is what our Tuesday morning is going to be looking like. Those, once again, single-digit temperatures, wind chills below 0. Doesn't look like anything will be actually falling from the sky in most spots, but we could see a few light snow showers and flurries still going in southern Indiana through about 9 a.m. And then once we head into Wednesday morning, we'll do it again. Single-digit temperatures, wind chills below 0. So a lot like what we're dealing with here in wave country right now. So next couple of mornings going to be pretty cold. But Wednesday afternoon, we have more sunshine around. And by the way, we're going to see some sunshine in the forecast as early as Tuesday afternoon. So that should help us to warm up. But tomorrow, we're going to be second the teens for most of us. And then Wednesday, it's really about the blue sky, the sunshine, highs near the freezing mark finally. And then we can finally jump over that freezing mark on Thursday. But that's more likely for those of you south of the parkways and then in the metro. So we are going to be keeping an eye on everything in terms of that. And Kristen made a really good point. JCPS kids came home with NTI materials prepared to be off tomorrow. So it does look like they have that plan in place. I knew they sent the kids home with that on Friday. So that's some good news. So they do have that plan in place just in case, because you know the way that those bus routes work now. Early dismissal is not really a thing. Getting in late, not really a thing. So going to be watching for that. Let's talk about Friday, the next alert day, because here we go again. Now with this next system, we're bringing more of that snow into play. We are talking about this low moving in Thursday night. This will bring some snow into the forecast, accumulating snow, it looks like, Thursday night. That means Friday morning, with those temperatures on the cold side, we are going to be watching for some issues come Friday morning's commute, which I will be actually off on Friday. So it'll be Brian Good with you Friday morning, guiding you through everything. So what we're going to see on Friday, the Arctic air will be back. Highs only into the 20s across the area. Accumulating snow early in the morning. So Thursday into Friday morning, that's when we get our next batch of snow. And it looks like we'll get another wave of energy moving throughout the daytime hours on Friday. So that can add on more snow across the area. So the entire region could get in on accumulations this time around, and decent accumulations. And then we'll tumble down into the single digits come Friday night, so that you know that everything gonna stick this time around. So let's talk about in terms of our snow cover potential for Friday. Yeah, we're all in that gray or white, so we'll see something trying to stick and something trying to fall. All the models are agreeing on that Thursday and the Friday snow. Not all of them are agreeing on that little wave moving through once we get into the daytime hours on Friday, actually pushing decently enough into wave country for us to add on. So we'll see how things go, how things evolve overall as we head over the next few days. Don't worry, we'll be nailing down this forecast for you, especially once you get the next week, because next week we could see 50s for highs. For those of you who are just like, I hate the snow, I hate the cold, give me the warmth, we're going to get some of that next week with 50s. And of course, with the warmth comes more chances for rain. So a lot for us to watch out there. Let me go through and answer some of your questions out there that I haven't answered already. So Jamie, my 12-year-old can't be out in the cold. He's epileptic and his body can't regulate his temperature well. Oh, poor thing. Yeah, so this is just one of those examples that it's dangerous for an adult to be out in the cold. So a kid being out in the cold, we'll see how these school districts deal with this. I know the road conditions will also play a factor in everything heading into tomorrow. So parents, guardians, just make sure you're staying aware. I know JCPS said by 5 a.m. we should know what their decision is. For Amanda, what is Tuesday morning looking like? Well, Tuesday morning, we'll still be watching for a little bit of that light snow, maybe some flurries in portions of our area, basically north of 64. So basically Indiana has a better chance to see some early morning snow showers on Tuesday. Temperatures will be in the single digits, wind chills below zero. It is going to be incredibly cold yet again. That is what we're looking at. Any light snow can cause a few more of those slick spots, like roads, because those pavement temperatures are in the 20s, single digits in many spots. So we just got to be very careful. Tara, are you getting more tonight? Harding County area? Yes. Remember, if you are along and south of the parkway, so we're talking from Litchfield to Eatown to Bardstown and south of that, you have a better opportunity to see 1 to 3 inches of additional snowfall later on this afternoon. I'm talking after 3, 4 o'clock into the evening. That's the current timing that we have going on. If this system speeds up a little bit, then we could see the timing going a little bit earlier. But regardless, it is so cold. It is still going to stick regardless of the time that everything falls. Now, For anyone just dealing with this cold, just keep in mind you have a couple more days to deal with these sub-freezing temperatures. We'll get back to above freezing once we get into your Wednesday and Thursday, and then we'll see things improving once we get further into next week. So thank you everybody for watching. I gotta hop into our morning meeting here at the station and inform everyone of what we got going on, what the rest of the forecast is looking like. So and then get ready for midday. So I will be with you for midday and the noon. So just watch us on television, on our apps to keep updated throughout the day. Kevin will be in later on this afternoon to keep you updated with what's going on as well. So everyone have a great day. Stay warm, stay safe. Please, please, please stay safe with this, especially as you're traveling. And have a happy Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. I'll see y'all at 11.